Right, today I'm going to show you how to make a few chod rigs because I'm fishing in the next couple of days and I'll be using chods, so I'm making some up and I thought I'd show you how to do them if you're not too sure on how to make them. So first, all you'll need is your mouth trap, or some people have started making out of IQ2. Two good materials. I've used them both and they both work. IQ2 is completely invisible in water, but mouthtrap's so rigid and so strong and it's meant for chods, so they're both very good, so I'll make one out of each. So that's the IQ2 and the mouthtrap, and then you'll need some scissors, you'll need a lighter, you may need a baiting needle. Now, depending the way you want to do it, you could use some quarter crimps and a crimp tool. That's so, and I think that is all we'll need. And I've got pullers, so I'll be using them. And then the hooks you'll want, you can have I've been using the Chod Chop for a couple of years, but I've also used the Nash Fang Twister X, I think it's called, and that's a great hook. You've got to tie it a little bit differently. So I'll get two Chod Chop hooks out, size 6. You can go to a size 8, but you'll have to make the mouth trap a smaller diameter. So basically, and you'll also need rig rings, or one rig ring for each rig, so I'll get 2 out. There we are, there's 2 rig rings. Right then, I think that's it. Right, start off, we'll make one out of mouth trap. So you want to take a section, give yourself enough to play with, about 10 inches. So I've got a 10-inch section there, and what I'm going to do first, start off by getting the hook and poking it through the back of the eye, through the front, going to the back, as so. And you're going to leave about an inch protruding off the bottom of the hook shank. And then just do a knotless knot. I usually do, because it's so stiff material, I usually do about 5 turns, 6 turns. So that's the knotless knot. Then back through the back facing the point, so the opposite way you came through, as so. Then you just want to pull that as tight as you can, and wet your knot obviously. It's actually not wetted, if that's a word. Then you've got that, so you've got your hook link section, or what will be a hook link section, and you've got another bit coming out the back which will be a hair. So we'll do the hair first. You want to get one of your rig rings, you want to poke it onto what will be the hair, and then if you fold your hook link section back towards the point, it might be a bit difficult because it's such a thick material, should leave you enough space to just poke that hair back through the eye towards the point. It is difficult and it can be frustrating, but you've got to keep pushing it through. There we go, got it there, let me pull that through. There we go, and then you pull that through as far as it'll go. So you've got that, so you've got no loop there. So it is through as far as it'll go. Then you cut, so you've got about 1 centimetre left, like so. Then that's where your lighter comes in. You get your lighter and you just blob the end, burn it a bit, and then just blob the end like that. So then, when you pull that bit back through until the blob is on the eye, it leaves you a nice section there, and you can round that off. I won't do that yet. and that's where your hook link will be attached to that ring, and it'll give it a lot of movement. And now is where you can decide the length and you put your swivel on. In this case I'm going to crimp it, so I'll show you how to do that. You can only crimp stiff materials like the mousetrap, you can't crimp the IQ, or the IQ2 should I say. So just get one of them crimps out of there, out of these neat little boxes. On Crazy Carpers we don't get paid or we don't get anything in return for advertising companies and things like that. We just do it because we recommend the tackle that we use to help you get the best tackle for your fishing. So with thread one of the little barrels on, one of the little crimps on, like so. Get it reasonably close, depending on how much you want it. Now it's a bit forgot a swivel, you'll need a swivel. And then you thread your swivel on, like so. And then you put that back through the other barrel of the crimp. Like so. Now I like my chod rigs just over an inch long, between 1 inch and 2 inches long, and I like a little bit of a loop there where the swivel is. Not very big, just a little bit. So about that. That's perfect for me. And then all you do, get your crimp tool, and you'll see it says S or L on there. And because I'm using the small crimps, you put it in the S, going long ways. Make sure it's nicely in. Oh, get it in the right place. Make sure it's nicely in the S bit. Then get it where you want it. Just make sure. And then push it tight. Clamp them together as hard as you can. And then when you're getting it out, it can be a bit difficult if you've pushed it really hard in. Just push it out. Perfect. So now that's really strong. That's as strong as any knot. Few people will say it isn't, but I've never had any problems, and it is just as strong as the best knot you can tie. And you cut, so you're leaving yourself probably about 5mm of tag end, and then a little thing I do is just bend that bit down as well. So just blob that, blob blob blob, done. And then what you do is you can straighten it out using your puller tools, or a puller tool and that some people do. Straighten it out, pulling quite tight, and then what you can do is you don't even need to use the mousetrap over a kettle. You don't even have to steam it. It's so rigid you can just bend it nicely with your thumb. Put a nice bend in it however you want. I don't like it too aggressive. I like it just like, straighten that out a bit, just like that. So that will sit like that, lovely on the bottom. Lovely. So that's the chod rig out of mousetrap. Now I'll do another video showing you how to make one out of IQ2. Then all you do, you attach your bait onto the rig ring using bait floss. We've shown you how to do that before, but if you can't remember, I'll do it again on Sunday when I'm just before I cast on my chods. So that's the chod rig I will be using in my next session. Hope they work for you too. Right, this is the second chod making video. In this one I'm going to be showing you how to make a chod out of IQ fluorocarbon. A lot of people do it nowadays because fluorocarbon has the same water refraction value as, the same light refraction value as water. So when you put it in water it does more or less disappear. So I'll show you how to do that. So you take about the same length, about 10 inches, put it off, put that there, out the way. You need the same components, except you don't need your crimp tools and crimps, because you won't be allowed to use it. Well, you won't be able to use crimps because it's not a stiff enough hook link. You do the same thing through the front towards the back, as so, leaving yourself out 1 inch. And you can do a few more loops of your loop knotless knot, because it is an easier material to tie it with. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nice and simple. Just make sure that that's through there, as so. So there you go, you've got your knotless knot tied, wetting that. Pull that down tight. And then the same thing with your hair, just make sure that's coming nicely at the back. And you're going to just put your rig ring on. Pull your hook link out the way and poke it back through. Same procedure. Bit easier to get that one through. Pull that right through, hold it in place, pull your hook link out the way, and cut it off so you leave about 1 centimetre. I've left a bit less there, but it's not a problem. Blob it. That's sorted. Pull that back through. There you go, you've got your loop there again. You can neaten that up afterwards. So then you've got your hook section tied, now you've got your hook link. So instead of crimping this one, you just take your swivel, put your swivel on. Now we're going to tie just a Palomar knot. You can tie half blood knots and blood knots, but I've always found Palomar is the strongest knot, and it's my favourite knot, so I use that. But you can use whatever knot you're confident in, obviously. Same with all your fishing. Whatever you're confident in, use that. Baits, rigs, everything. Obviously you've got to try new things out, but if you're confident with a certain knot, then use that knot. That's all I've got to say really. So that through there, that through there. Get your loops about the same size, as so. Wetten it, moisten it. Keep saying wetten, but I don't know if that's a word. Moisten. And then with the IQ, you want to pull your tag end at the same time as you pull your hook link, so it doesn't bend it or knot it up, like twisting the hook link round. So I'll just pull that tight with my teeth. Pull that tight in there. Now as you can see, that one's a bit longer. You can go a bit longer using this, or I like to, because it is such a... Ow, that hook's sharp. It is such a invisible material when it's in water that you can get away with tying it a bit longer. And when long loop links just gives me a bit more confidence that it's above the chod and above the weed and not in it. So if now you've blobbed that and got your knot tight, you can just pull that tight on your puller tools. And then if you want to bend this, if you want to get that to a nice curve, a nice angle, you can do it in your thumbs, between your thumb and finger, but it's not as good because it's not stiff. So I would would advise you to get like a rig cone or chod cone and put that around there on the biggest section and just steam that. But see, if I'm just holding it like that, it's sitting really weird. But because you'll be sitting it in water and it'll have a pop-up on that, it'll just sit like that nicely. So that's how to tie my chods. So there's one there, and I've made one out of mouthtrap material. They'll be doing me well, and I'll definitely be using them at the weekend. Get on the chods, that's all I've got to say. Thanks for watching, see you next time.